Hey guys, what's up? This is SonicSol, and I'm just gonna cut right to the chase here. A lot of people have been asking me about my thoughts regarding Season 2.1 Nash, or basically the adjustments to Season 2 Nash that are going to be coming in April. And I saw the notes for Nash a couple weeks back, but I didn't really say anything, so I guess I'll give my 2 cents on him. And I just want to, I guess, more or less give examples, from the game so far to just kind of like illustrate my point. But I'll get to my thoughts after I explain each one of these new changes, so let's just get right to it. So the first change to Nash was his forward dash, or the first adjustment that they're planning to make. His forward dash, the total movement frames have been changed from 19 frames to 18 frames. Now, in Season 2, his dash is 19 frames. However, there's more to his dash than it just being 19 frames. They sped up the time at which Nash moves forward in his dash. They sped up that animation by 1 frame. Now, the importance of this is that in Season 1, his dash was 17 frames, and when Nash moved forward for his dash, it was on frame 8, meaning that it would be very hard to react to, especially with the 8 frames of input delay in Season 1. His forward dash was very hard to deal with, and he could always just dash up throw, dash up walk back shimmy, or dash up press a button. And the idea behind him just dashing up and throwing you, or dashing up and walking back, the idea behind that is it's hard to react to his dash and to press a button to stop him, and him dashing up with 17 frames left him at enough advantage to walk back and bait throws. So now that his dash is 19 frames, he's literally standing out there not doing anything. Now he's gonna just be dashing in front of you, and because of the extra or because of the reduced frame on him moving forward, it's super reactable. So couple that with also the 6.5 frame delay, and it's very easy to stop the dash. It's very easy to stop forward dash. But I think what Capcom is trying to do by decreasing the movement frames from 19 to 18 is just basically give him better Oki, first of all, and maybe open up, the shimmy again. Maybe opening up the dash up shimmy and basically helping out his throw game a little bit more. But that's just my personal, thoughts on what they might be changing with that. So that's his forward dash for the most part. Alright, so the second adjustment they're making to Season 2 Nash is his standing heavy punch, and they're increasing the forward hitbox for the first active frame. They're expanding the hitbox downward for frames 2 and 3 for its active frames, and they're reducing the upwards hitbox. Now, the thing about this is that in Season 2, the game we're playing now, his standing heavy punch, it had a shrunken forward hitbox for the first active frame, and it also had a shrunken lower hitbox during the second and third active frames, and they had an extended upper hitbox. So what this means, right, is standing heavy punch is like Nash's only crush counter normal that he can confirm off of, next to forward heavy punch, which is really slow and really negative on block up close, and you have to space it, and even when it's spaced you can get punished if they block it. So overall, the only real safest crush counter confirm that you're gonna get, that you're gonna really try to fish with, is his standing heavy punch. And when they reduced the forward hitbox and lower hitbox, that made its viability in terms of whiff punishment really shitty, because its forward hitbox became so stubby. So now how are you gonna really contest someone pressing buttons at you and you're trying to fish with standing heavy punch? I mean, you're gonna fish with standing medium punch because it's better, but standing heavy punch, I think the way in which Capcom is trying to think with crush counter normals in mind, they're trying to make it so where Nash can fish with standing heavy punch more. Not to mention, standing heavy punch, you got a specific crush counter confirm that was a little more consistent to do in Season 1 than it is now in Season 2, where you could do standing heavy punch crush counter, walk forward, standing heavy punch into light sonic move. And now in Season 2, because of the changes to standing heavy punch, it's now less consistent to even land that. And you can't even do light boom. You have to cancel in the EX boom because the standing heavy punch, the total animation of the move was increased by 1 frame. And the light boom needed that extra frame in order to actually connect and link together. So overall, I think standing heavy punch, like, it got the undo button. And I think that's what a lot of these changes are, is that they're hitting the undo button on a lot of different, like, balance changes that they did for Nash in Season 2. So the next adjustment that they're making for Nash in the Season 2.1 change is the medium Sonic Scythe. So they're increasing the pushback distance for it on block. Now, on block, medium Sonic Scythe in Season 2 is now -10, and they've reduced the pushback distance on block and on hit. So overall, you know, that move is like really risky to even use, unless you like maybe you want to backdash and you want to check them for trying to approach you. But overall, like, even at max range, when you space it and they block it and it's perfectly spaced and all, because it's -10, some characters, they can punish you. I mean, granted, they're spending a bar, but they're still able to punish you completely, whereas in Season 1 it wasn't as free, mainly because it was -8. But medium Sonic Scythe, I feel like it's one of the main pokes that Nash has, next to like crouching medium kick, standing medium punch, forward heavy kick, and forward medium kick. Like, those pokes are like literally how he kind of like counter pokes and tries to get in and plays with the space that's made afterwards. And medium Sonic Scythe doesn't really give him that, doesn't really give him the whole counter poke idea, especially when the pushback isn't even that great, and it's like they could just press their heavy normal anyway and stuff you for trying to counter poke from that spacing. Overall, I think that the move getting increased pushback, it's basically gonna make it again like Season 1. Not completely like Season 1, but it's gonna essentially make that move not super negative to just throw out. So I think that's another good change, or rather another undo button that they hit. So the next adjustment that they're making for Season 2 Nash is his EX Sonic Scythe. Now in Season 2 right now, the throw invincibility for that move was removed for the first 6 frames, and they decreased the upwards hitbox for the first 2 active frames. What this means is that I'm spending a bar to anti-air you, and my EX anti-air is getting stuffed by like a jump in because I did it late. So what that means is, in order for me to anti-air you with EX Scythe, I have to do it way earlier. I can't do it like, you know, right as you're in the air. I have to do it, not saying like I have to read the jump in, but it's like I can't do it later than the apex of your jump. Like, that's basically the best way I could describe it, because on frame 1, when it comes out, because the hitbox is so small, you can legit just jump in on Nash and you would trade with him. You wouldn't beat the anti-air, you wouldn't beat EX Sonic Scythe, but you would trade with him, and that was pretty OD. Because I'm spending a bar to anti-air you and get you off me and make you fly across the screen and say stop it, like return to neutral. So it's disheartening when that shit happens. And then it's like the throw invincibility, that, you know, that I can't wake up with EX Scythe if I think you're gonna throw me. And the thing about it is that you might think it's stupid to wake up with EX Scythe, but if you have V-Trigger, you make it safe. Not being able to wake up with EX Scythe, if you think they're gonna throw you in a game that's like heavily reliant on throws and the throw game, that's pretty OD. So they obviously they hit the undo button on that, because that nerf was OD for no reason. And I think it's a good thing that they did that, because I'm spending a bar I'm spending resources to tell you to stop jumping and to stop throwing me. So, and of course they added the throw invincibility back only because a lot of the other like wake up reversal moves are getting like different changes to them, like the Shoryuken. Now the light punch version, it avoids throws, the medium version will stop jump-ins, and the heavy version will have physical and projectile invulnerability. So they're just trying to play along with the fact that, you know, these changes are here, and, you know, Nash lacks an actual reversal that he can use. So it's very much a welcome change, a welcome undo button. Alright, so the last adjustment that Capcom is making to Season 2 Nash, and I think it's the only adjustment that, unlike all the other ones where Capcom is legit just hitting the undo button on Nash, is a buff. So initially they buffed crouching medium kick in Season 2 to where they quicken the timing for V-trigger cancel by 1 frame, meaning that you could cancel crouching medium kick on hit in the V-trigger, the ground version, and you would be +4 on hit. So now you can link crouching jab into light kick scythe or EX tragedy assault. But now in the Season 2.1 changes, it's been quickened again. The timing has been quickened again for the ground V-trigger cancel, meaning that now you're +5 instead of +4 on hit if you do this cancel. What this means is that instead of only being able to do EX scythe or EX tragedy assault or light kick scythe, you can now do back medium kick into medium scythe or heavy scythe and go into okizeme. You could do, light tragedy assault, or you could go into EX sonic boom or regular sonic boom, the light version of sonic boom. So overall, this increases the damage output for crouching medium kick, and it kind of it's gonna make people scared to want to walk in on Nash or just dash up to Nash and be like, yeah, I'm gonna just oppress you. And it also increases the options he has on offense, because obviously he can frame trap with crouching light kick, crouching medium kick, and he can also mix it up. He can now do a low normal and get some damage for it, and he's not just gonna be stuck to just trying to go in a light kick scythe from a low normal when they're really just going to be holding down back, and they're not going to really take that much damage anyway from a regular hit confirm when they could just block the Oki after. So I think that's a good change. It's obviously increasing his damage output, so it's definitely a welcome change. Alright, so there are developer comments on the bottom now that sums up basically all the adjustments to the Season 2 Nash, and where they're discussing like what these changes, what they feel might be able to help the character, or rather their opinions or thoughts on these changes that they've made. So they said that the initial concept behind Nash's Season 2 adjustments were to encourage players to explore his large array of attacks to begin offense rather than the same few that were always used stifling strategy. Now, if you remember in my Season 2 balance change video for Nash that I did make, if you haven't, you can check it out. I essentially commented on a lot of things. I made basically text messages commenting on a lot of the things that people abused with Nash in Season 1. So like medium kick sonic scythe, V-trigger on wake up, V-reversal, forward heavy kick, standing heavy punch after forward heavy kick, so you could actually get a crush counter afterwards by just fishing with that shit for free. A lot of those tools that were used really made it hard to get in on Nash, and also of course the dashes made it so that way, again, his mobility was really good, so it was hard to get in on him, and when he finally got in, it was really hard to react to him. And they wanted Nash to basically be more offensive than Guile, who is more defensive, and they wanted to make that clear distinction by making adjustments to his defensive options, aka nerfs. Which is why V-Reversal got nerfed, V-Trigger got nerfed, his backdash got nerfed, his forward dash somewhat nerfed. So obviously they made those defensive options very bad, so that way they could help push the fact that Nash isn't Guile, which a sort of a nitpick for me. Nash taught Guile everything he knows, to the point where you could see the proficiency with Nash in that he could throw a sonic boom with one hand and all the other shit. So I understand that they want to bring Nash back from the dead and revive him and make him reborn and basically give him a fresh set of paint and basically make him look new, make him a character that's not a clone, which is the main idea of or the main reason why Nash got all of those changes, is just to push the fact that he's different from Guile. They didn't want him to be a clone like Guile. So unfortunately, the adjustments that they made to his attacks resulted in his offense becoming weaker, leaving Nash in a place where he didn't feel strong on offense, defense, nor in neutral. So obviously, as I've said before, the nerfs to his V-Reversal, the nerfs to his V-Trigger, the nerfs to his backdash, the nerf to like medium scythe, and the nerf to EX Sonic Scythe, and the nerf to standing heavy punch, and the nerf to forward dash, all that shit basically just was like, well, fuck, I can't do anything now. Now I'm super slow. My hitboxes are not far out enough to really like play a good neutral game. When I'm in, I can't really do much to mix it up. So literally, what am I gonna do, right? So with the adjustments that they've made here, they believe that Nash will end up with a slightly stronger neutral game and stronger offensive game, leaving him in an overall better position amongst the cast. Notice how they didn't say defensive game. They still don't want Nash to play defensively. They want to push the fact that if you want a defensive style, you should play Guile. Bars. But overall, offensively, and of course in the neutral, they've improved what he can do. That's why his forward dash got, you know, 1 frame less of animation. You know, standing heavy punch, they hit the undo button on that, so that way now it's just, you know, a regular, it can actually fish for crush counter, and it's not just a stubby normal. Crouching medium kick, obviously the cancel for that gives him better damage output, and it makes people scared to approach. Medium Sonic Scythe is actually not shit, and EX Sonic Scythe is not shit. The fact that you can wake up and do EX Scythe to stop a throw, that's actually a thing that people have to be scared for if they want to throw Nash now. And he could V-Trigger cancel it, obviously, to make it safe. You know, all that stuff basically helps to increase his offense and his neutral game. It makes it so that way he actually can like play his toolkit, which is what they want Nash to do for Season 2. That's what they wanted Nash to do, is to be a more aggressive take on his character, which is cool, you know. I played Nash in Alpha 2, and I kind of liked the whole zoning thing. But of course, if I want to do that, I gotta play Guile. That's what they've essentially established with these changes for Nash. They don't want him to be this sort of like hit and run lame type of style like Poison in Ultra Street Fighter 4. So just to give an example. So that's basically what they thought, and kind of what I'm thinking more or less from these changes. Overall, do I think these changes will make him like top 5 or back to his Season 1 counterpart? No, they won't. And if you still think that these changes were going to do, if you ever thought at all that these adjustments were going to make Nash like super godlike, stop drinking the Kool-Aid. Take the red pill. Like, he's definitely going to be better. He'll probably be upper mid, in my honest opinion, if we're talking tiers altogether. But it will not make him like back to his former glory. I don't think it will be. But you know, again, this is all just me saying shit. Who knows? Like, maybe these changes overall will somehow make Nash a little bit better than what I'm saying he is. But right now, these changes to me, they make him basically, from what a lot of people have told me, it gives him his leg back. It gives him 1 leg back. It doesn't give him 2. So, you know, it's not bad, but it could be better, but it's not bad. It's actually decent. So that's more or less my thoughts on the Season 2 changes, for Season 2.1 changes for Nash, and just overall, you know, what they are. So take care, guys. Later.